Hey everybody, it's Coach B with NXG Combat Sports. Today's question is a little bit more serious. Comes from another coach, and they were asking about dealing with someone who is becoming a cancer in the gym or having to excommunicate someone from your team. So first and foremost, I'm going to break this down into two categories. The first is rather quick. There may be, I've never personally experienced this, quite fortunately, but there may be an instance where an action is so egregious that that person must go immediately. If someone ever intentionally tried to harm a teammate, if someone was ever inappropriate with someone of the opposite gender, they got to go now. Probably not any thought required, very expedient, and maybe even the hard way. But what I want to talk more about is those people that maybe have been a member of your team, someone that's been around for a while, and for whatever reason, something has changed and they are no longer conducive or healthy for the environment. So, first and foremost, let me start by saying two things. Create the environment that you want to have, and quite often you will attract people that are conducive to that environment. You're going to have the occasional knucklehead that rolls through and he wants the blood and guts and the toughness and he's got that cocky attitude. Let him know right away that that's just not what you have going on. And the environment normally will let them know that it's not a tough enough spot for them, and they can go and look for whatever toxicity that they need in their life because you're not vibing that way in general. And all money's not good money, right? If somebody comes to you right out the gate and they're looking for an environment that you know is not your own, please don't pander to them for their membership fee. Let them go. It's going to end up causing more headache down the road. It's easier just to avoid it up front. But let's talk about that person for a moment that's been a long-standing member in your gym. They're a portion of the atmosphere, and for whatever reason, things have changed. Unfortunately, in about 15 years as an owner, 12 years as an owner, about 15 heading on 20 years as a head coach, there have been about 3, maybe 4 occurrences where I've had to ask someone to leave. You never know what's going on with somebody, so show compassion. First and foremost, show compassion. If you care about your team, if you care about your gym mates and members, show compassion. And this goes back to the environment as a whole. So if something has changed in their headspace, who knows? Maybe they've suffered a loss in their family. Maybe they've gone through a financial crisis, going through a divorce. You never know. Pull them off to the side. Go to them one-on-one in private and let them know what's going on and what you see. And hey, maybe they acknowledge it and they make a correction right then. The steps that I follow are generally a 3-step process, and it's rather biblical. So, first things first, you go to them in private. If you can correct the issue that way, no harm, no foul, no love is lost, nobody else needs to know, issue resolved, right? If it continues beyond that, then go to them with witnesses. This serves twofold. One, those witnesses can fact check me or you to make sure that you don't have a bias or that you're not looking at things from an incorrect point of view. 2, it serves to let the other person know that you are not the only person that recognizes this issue, right? So it lets them know that this is truly an issue and that you are trying to resolve it. You've already been to them in private. Now you're having to bring it to them with witness. And if it continues beyond that, then 3 strikes and you're out, right? You've gone to them in private. You've gone to them with witnesses, which basically means that you've already brought members of the team into this in minimal because you always want to allow the person the opportunity to save face, right? But if it continues into a 3rd time, if you need to speak to them a 3rd time, there's not much else to be conveyed. You've already done so in private. You've already done so with a witness. And then you simply cut them off. You have to, right? You have to, because it only takes one bad apple to ruin the whole bushel. You've given them an opportunity for corrective action. You've allowed them to save face in doing so, and they simply are not interested or capable in correcting that action. Then it's time to cut them off. With this 3-step approach, not only is it biblical, but it gives you the opportunity to know that you did, and it gives your team the opportunity to know that collectively you did what you could to try and preserve or reconcile with this person, and that your goal was not simply to cast them away. It was an unfortunate circumstance when you finally reached that third level and you had to cut them off. So at that point, it's not out of want, it's not out of ill will, it's out of sheer necessity. And you know that you have taken logical steps to rectify the situation. So when you arrive at the necessity to cast them aside, you know how you got there, and you can carry a clear conscience moving forward, guys. Anyhow, that's me. That's my methodology. The few times that we've had to go down this route, that's always been the path we've taken, and I feel like we were better off for it in the end. God knows, the teammates know, and you haven't made any additional display. You haven't made any negative comments regarding this person, and you simply let them go on their way. Maybe they can find a better fit somewhere else. Maybe life changes for them down the road, and certainly you wish them the best. Just not here, right? Anyhow, guys, I hope that's helped you out. I hope that's given you a better understanding of how I would go about it. And maybe that's given you some points to ponder in your own situation. And we wish you all the best, man. Nobody ever wants to lose a teammate, but it's better to lose a teammate than to lose a team. All money's not good money, no bad apples. I'm Coach B, NXG Combat Sports. Nothing but love, guys.